My name is Maria Eivers. I'm an Associate Director in the London Residential Development team. I'm based in Margaret Street in London.
And I'm David Browne. I am Head of New Homes and Director based in Dublin in Ireland.
David, how would you normally spend St. Patrick's Day?
St. Patrick's Day is a family day. I'd spend it with the kids. Might get a parade in. That'd be really the highest. We can go somewhere nice to eat. What about yourself?
So normally I would spend it down in Cheltenham, and if St. Patrick's Day fell on the week of Cheltenham, I would certainly be there on that day. This St. Patrick's Day is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to try and tune into the virtual St. Patrick's Day parade from here.
Obviously, the last year has been very unusual and lots of changes. Have you noticed a big difference in terms of what developers are doing or new trends coming in the UK?
Yeah, I certainly have. I mean, certainly from a buyer's point of view, we've seen a huge buyer preference change, and the market has been now dominated by the UK buyer. You know, it's there's been a resurgence of the UK buyer in London, and they're, you know, moving out. I mean, they're moving to get some more green space, to breathe the fresh air. But I also think that once they go and they do that difficult commute when the offices return, they'll be looking for a pied-à-terre pad in the centre of London, and we are seeing that type of buyer come in.
Yeah, it's a similar story here. There is a trend certainly at the moment that people are looking to move out. So as opposed to the apartment in the city, they might be looking at the suburban house. And in the suburban house, even they're looking for changes in that. So they're looking for a corner that they can study, or they're looking for the extended version where it has a second reception space, because people are used to working from home now. And it can be very difficult, particularly if you have children. So they're looking for that extra space. But like you said, that could be short-lived. We're hearing people are moving quite a distance away from Dublin down into, you know, it could be an hour and a half, 2 hours away commute. I can't see that lasting long once the offices reopen and people want to come back into the city. So it'll be certainly interesting one to watch. At the moment, it's kind of tight around the greater Dublin area and people commuting in. That would be the norm.
If you were to buy here in London, which scheme would you buy in?
Yeah, I've thought about that many times. I'm very lucky that I travel, or I used to travel to London a couple of times or 3 times a year. So I've been through a lot of the developments. A few stand out actually. One would be South Bank Place. I think that's kind of the real quintessential London. You've got the river, you've got, you know, the views. It's kind of postcard London. That was really special. The Drake Hut was one. I will always remember just the interiors of that one. Absolutely incredible. I'd never seen something finished so well. The detail was different level. Chelsea Barracks is obviously extremely well known. That's really, really different and quite grand in scale. The Penthouse in Riverwalk. What we're definitely noticing really across the board, no matter where you are, is people want to be beside people. They want to be able to get the coffee. They want to be able to get, you know, whatever it happens to be. They want retail around them, and I know retail can be struggling at the moment. And hopefully, when we reopen, that will be solved somewhat. But you can definitely see from a purchasing point of view, people want to be in the village. They want to be along the coast or in the mountains. They want somewhere to walk and get outside. But also, when that's done, be able to pop into the shop. And I think that pull towards the villages, particularly along the coast, is very clear to see in Dublin.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And also to tap back into the cultural side of things, like you mentioned, South Bank Place is right in the cultural hub of London on the South Bank. And, you know, theatres and galleries, we can't wait for them to open here. And many of our developments are located very closely to those amenities, which, as you say, are on the top of people's lists when we, you know, finally get back to normality. So what do you think in terms of developers in Ireland? What do you think that they do differently versus maybe what we would do in London?
A lot of similarities, I suppose. We obviously had a break in terms of construction. So where we're at the moment, from particularly around the Dublin and Cork areas, is there's a lack of supply. So there is a race to obviously build as much stock as possible. Planning permissions are now coming through. The vast majority of that planning is for apartment, and the vast majority of the apartment stock is going to the PRS market. So there's actually a hole in the market for the buyer, for a first-time buyer or trade down, or those moving up into an apartment or duplex. So a lot of first-time buyers stock being built, not enough to cater for the demand we have at the moment in the suburban areas or in the greater Dublin area. But there is a gap certainly for apartments for the buyer as such.
Okay. I think from a London developer point of view, there's a lot of competition in our marketplace, and developers sort of try and differentiate themselves and do it exceptionally well by being very design led. Ballymore, a great example of this, and many of our clients look to Ballymore to see what they're doing and how they're differentiating their product. And I believe that that's a very good sort of tactic for them to do, because it allows them, the target market, to maybe look at them over the developer next door. So it's good to see that, and it's good to see when you guys come over to see our developments here in the UK to help advise your developer clients in Dublin, that you can pick up some of those design elements that really attract our buyers to our new development schemes.
And Ballymore, obviously a big client of ours as well, and they are Irish.
Yes.
They're brilliant at marketing. They're leaders in that field. They always look at something a little bit differently. And when they first come out with it, you might actually question, my God, how are they building a poppy field in front of or a wild garden in front of the show house? And then when they do it, it is incredible, and no one has ever seen it before. And then, as you said, others might replicate it. So they're brilliant to see, to lead that marketplace. A lot of what I would take from the London, because it's much more mature market, particularly in relation to apartment building, would be the layouts, the use of space, the use of storage space, the sprinkler systems, the small things like going down a corridor and the front door being floor to ceiling as opposed to normal height makes such a difference when you open the door. The sprinkler system units are only really coming into Dublin at the moment, or into Ireland at the moment. There's only a few schemes, and to date, most of them have been rental only, so they're not coming into the open marketplace. But the open plan, like the Friends apartment, whereby you come in, the kitchen's there, and you have a big open plan living room with bedrooms on either side. That's something that the market hasn't seen enough of here. And when they see it, it doesn't really translate well on a floor plan, but when you're actually in the unit, it's brilliant use of space. Nothing wasted. There's no hallways wasted. And I'd love to see more of that coming in. It's coming in now. It's going to be the new norm, but it's only coming in now. So it's bits like that. I remember seeing the marketing suite in Embassy Gardens when it opened back, quite a while ago now. It might have been 2015 or so, or earlier than that. It was 5 stories, and they had apartments within it, and that was just like, you hadn't seen anything like that ever. So you definitely get cues from the UK developers in doing different things.
Yeah, certainly from a buyer point of view here, they definitely want to touch and feel the product through, a show apartment within the marketing suite, or we may advise our client to fast track a show apartment within the development. And actually a little bit different to what you've said there about how your construction side of the business has closed down. It's been obviously the opposite here in the UK, and actually we're seeing some projects that are now going to be ahead of their completion time, like 101 Cleveland Street, which is in Fitzrovia, that was planned to finish towards the end of the year, but actually it'll finish over the summer months, because they've had that period where they've been able to concentrate on getting it finished, which is good to see. David, I wish you a really happy St. Patrick's Day. I hope you get to maybe drink a pint of Guinness at home.
Yes, to be at home, yeah. Well, have a great day. Thank you for your time today. It's great to catch up, and happy St. Patrick's Day.